Welcome back, everyone. I'm Zell, and today we're going to get a look at what's inside the Bestech Thorn. Yeah, guys, this is one of the 12C27 models. And 12C27, that's an interesting steel. First, let's find out, I think we need a T6 driver, so we'll get our Scout Leather Company driver, and we have a Philo bit in there today. And we've got one, two, we'll leave the pocket clip on, I believe. Maybe. And two over here, and then I'm going to assume that's a T8, which we'll have to pull the T8 out here, and that's disturbing. I don't know where my other Scout Leather Company driver is. Hopefully it's over on the other desk. Anyhow, the 12C28, I've heard some complaint about it, and I hear you. Going from D2 to 12C28 is interesting, and let's kind of explore that while we're getting this knife apart. Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, well, I think that pocket clip's going to have to come off. I don't see why, unless maybe that one's in there. But, so, anyhow, your D2, we all know D2. It holds a really so-so edge for a very long time. Whenever you go to the 12C27 and the 14C28, oh, that's interesting. That's actually a separate piece right there that sits down. This sits down in this little recess, and then the pocket clip sits on top of it. Kind of neat. I don't know if I'm a fan of it, but it's kind of neat. Get our T8 out here and see if we can get this knife apart. Oh, that's going to spin on me. Wow, is it going to spin? And I'm going to end up breaking things. Well. How do we want to do this? We want to see what's in there, right? Right, I heard you. Alright, so our normal method didn't work. So I don't know if we're going to have any luck with anything, but we're going to try. I don't have a spanner, I don't believe. Well, that's our next thing, but that is not going to hold anything, so spanner. So this is the only spanner that I have readily available, and believe it or not, it fits, sort of. Alright, so let's see what happens. They get a handle for that one. Oh, I don't like this at all. Well, let's see. That's why I don't like this. We're going to stop and find some tape. Okay, all I had was electrical tape, and we're doing the best we can with it. I'll go that way here, backwards on the other side, and oh, we got it to move. That was good. If we get it to move, we can go back to doing this. And there we go. Whew. I really thought I was going to hurt myself that time, boys and girls. That is a whatever a number 2 spanner is. Looks like that. Got it apart. So, woo! Kick some butt. Shouldn't have been that hard. Shouldn't have a free spinning pivot. But, you know, that's just the way it is. So, just like most of the other knives, we are set up. Wow, okay, I take that back. Cool, super freaking cool. Let me grab a paper towel here, or actually I've got a microfiber cloth. Super freaking cool. This is, yeah. Stop pin fell out, that's good. Alright, so this is your liner. Nicely polished. Beautifully polished. That is super cool. Got our ceramic detent ball pressed in there very nicely. Got some light jimping right there. Not anything awful, just nice light jimping. I like it. And look here. Both sides. They have counterboard this stuff. The liner. That is beautiful. Why is that beautiful? Because with the liner counterboard, we can lay the bearing in like that. Oh, it's sticky right now. We can lay the bearing in like that. The back side of the bearing is protected. All you've got is the little balls of the bearing sticking out and touching the blade. Freaking gorgeous. Love it. Alright, all you big-time knife manufacturers. I know Bestech's a newcomer. And I know this knife's got 12C27N in it, and they're using a free spinning pivot, blah, 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 blah. But that is sweet. I love how they did that. And if you are other knife companies out there, I would be taking notes. Because that's a good way to do it. I'll even get the calipers out for you and show you how thick this stuff is. Oh, I said calipers, didn't I? Well, they're kind of a set of calipers. Though, somebody will probably argue with me. Zero it out. 56 thousandths. So now we'll get the actual calipers out and see if I can't get a depth reading right here. We'll zero these out. Get a depth reading. This is going to be tough to do on camera, but we'll try it. There we go. Sure that's all square. Finger off of it. Wow. That's impressive. They did a heck of a job. And that's some fairly precision milling there. I like it. Alright, so we got some alcohol over here. Don't think we'll put this one in the parts washer. Don't think there's going to be enough stuff. However, one of you guys suggested quite brilliantly to use one of those little K-cup things in the ultrasonic washer, and you sir deserve a round of applause. Everybody clap for the gentleman that suggested using the little K-cup thing in the ultrasonic parts washer. Beautiful. I happen to have had one of those laying around that wouldn't fit our current machine, and it is fabulous. Works great. Alright, so we have any gunk? Yeah, we got a little bit of gunk on this one. That's what it was all about. We got a little gunk on our pivot screw. So they Loctited that dude down in there with some of that industrial wrap-on Loctite stuff, which is not a bad deal. I rather like that industrial Loctite, but whenever you have a free spinning pivot, it all of a sudden becomes a big deal because nobody can get it loose. So, it's always something. These T6 screws. Why T6? Why can't we have T8? You can get the same size screw with a T8 head. It's not like we have to pick T6. But it seems like everybody wants to pick T6 for some silly reason. And we've talked about it before. T6 is a problem because you have inexpensive knives with T6 screws. And those inexpensive knives with T6 screws cause people to mess up their drivers, and then they try to open or close or open up a knife that's got good T6 screws, and they mess up the good T6 screws because the T6 driver was a mess, and it's just this big circular, it's a mess. Use T8s. Anyhow, I'm going to shake up the Vibratite, get everything Vibratited down, and we'll be back, or I'll be back in 30 minutes. You guys, I'll just snap my fingers and everything will be good for you. Little bit of Vibratite. We're not going to go hog wild on the Vibratite on these because you saw what happened with that pivot. And we don't want that happening again. We want this knife to go back together nice and easy and come apart the next time we need it to come apart. So just a little bit of Vibratite, and I know I'm getting stuff out of frame. And that's it. I'll be back right now. Let's get this Thorn, that's what it's called, back together. Still got that all in one piece. So we're going to shove us a pivot in there. Free spinning, so we don't have to worry too much about it. And I'm going to leave that tape on the blade just in case I have to use Captain Spanner over here to put it back together. Let's hope that doesn't happen. And we need some lubricant. You'd think I'd be better prepared, right? Well, don't ever count on that here. But we have some 10 weight. We're using nano oil. Does it have to be nano oil? Of course it doesn't. But it's what I've got because I like the applicator. And actually because I like the 85 weight. Now, something important though. I'm putting this bearing in with the open side of the race. That is this side of the race into our counter bore. That's the recessed area around the pivot. That's the closed side of the race. I want that closed side of the race sticking up. Quite simply because, see that? We're better protecting the open side of that bearing by sticking it down in there. And that's what I want to do. Keep crap from getting down in there. It lets you blow a knife out a few extra times before you have to take it apart and do anything. Just something, like I said, that I do. You don't have to, but you'll be cleaning your knives more often if you don't. So, there you go. And let's see, let's get this guy in here. We got a stop pin somewhere. There it is. And here, let's check that stop pin. We've had some knives with really freaking rocky, loose stop pins lately. Okay, this one is about average. It's got some movement to it, but once you put that other side in, it's going to lock down. It's not like that one. I think it was a, put a little lube on this side too. I think that was it a Boker? Yeah, it was that crazy little front flipper that had just a stop pin that was just like, I'll just hang out in here. Got plenty of room to do whatever I want. And, you know, that's not cool. That stop pin has got to be there to stop that blade when you flick the knife open. It's just like that. So, didn't like that at all. Alright, now this time we're going to put us just a little bit of juice down here. And we're going to put this with the open side of the bearing cage up. That way, whenever we lay this down on top of it, it slides right into that counter bore and we are happy. Or at least I'm happy. You don't have to be happy if you don't want to. You can be an old grump ass. I don't care. As long as you're on that side of the screen. Try to bring that stuff here, just forget it. And there we go. Put our scale back down. And here is the moment of truth. We've got our pivot screw, and we're going to try to put it back in the hole. We got a T6 on that one. Thought I had brought the other one over here. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, it is. There is our Weehaw T8. And it says H behind it because this one has a little hole down the middle. Yes, I ordered the wrong ones. But, you know, it doesn't matter. It all works. And the pivot is going in so far. Let's see if we can get it. Oh, we're going to get it snug. And you guys got a big picture of the back of my hand. It's a rather nice back of the hand. So, you know, okay. But I think we got that snug up in there. That is awesome. So now, we've got these two short body screws, and they are T6s. So we need the other driver. I think, yep, that says T6 on it. And put these back together. And those screws, you know, I've kind of bragged on Bestech, I think, before. I'm not bragging on them so much on this particular knife. They're still reasonable, but they're not as good as what I've seen before out of them. That bothers me. But then again, I haven't taken, you know, they're going through a transition period with this 12C27, trying to get the D2 thing straightened out. So hopefully they'll get that straightened out. One little neat thing, notice there, if you take one of these apart, you've got this little milled in area, and they milled you out a cute little piece here. It sits right down in there for your pocket clip to set on top of, to get the raise for your pocket clip instead of some crazy bend. I've carried the knife some, and it's okay. And is it something super spectacular or neat to have that there? You know, I don't know. I don't think that, you know, in a knife I designed, I might do it, but it probably wouldn't be my first thought. However, it's going to work fine, and it actually allows them, believe it or not, fewer operations. You know, 2 screws, some holes, they were going to have to do that anyhow. Instead of having to bend this several times, which they just use a press to bend it, but they can throw these in the mill and they can make several hundred of them at a time. So, you know, probably a time-saving measure. So let's see what we've got. Well, the knife is all back together good. I'm not feeling anything sloppy. So let's try to get all this electrical tape that I put on it earlier off of there, because I was really afraid that the little thorn here was going to be a thorn in my hand whenever we were trying to get that pivot loose. It's just over application of Loctite. You know, these companies are fighting a battle. You don't want any Loctite on your knife if you're watching this, or you just want the proper application. And then they have to deal also, not just with you, but with the average Joe customer that may not even know what Loctite or Vibratite or any of these items are. So they're constantly fighting the battle of, do we Loctite it down really tight and be done with it, or do we allow our people, our fans, to have knives that aren't Loctited that tight? And I got to find something to clean that blade off with, get the sticky off of there. And guys, I'm using straight alcohol. You guys got all upset with me over the acetone. I still like the acetone. I know where I'm not supposed to use it. And this one may require acetone. That black tape is pretty sticky stuff. But we'll see. It may clean up okay. I may have to take it out of the buffer. Goodness. No, it's just tape residue. Alright, you guys don't win this one. I'm getting the acetone. Why? Because the acetone just takes all the tape residue and makes it all go away. And there you go. Nice shiny blade again. We'll check the action in just a moment. I just got to get this blade looking good again, because, man, they did a good job for such an inexpensive knife of finishing this blade. I rather like what I'm seeing out of Bestech on these blade finishes. It's something that shiny there, oof, man, that looks pretty. So let's see what we got. We actually may have got it a little extra tight. Let's see, are we centered? We're centered up, so let's try to loosen it a little bit. And stayed centered? Yep. So we can get that little light blade to... Oh, that's nice. Alright. So that is what's inside the Bestech Thorn. It's a pretty neat little knife, guys. Definitely one of your heavy-duty little knives. I like that a lot. And you guys have a wonderful day. Don't forget to catch up with us over on the apexnews.com, and I will see you next time.